Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So on this video I'll show us how to make this lovely dress you are seeing on your screen. Please guys, subscribe to my channel, like and share and comment. And if there's any style you want me to show you guys how to make, say it on the comment section. So guys, let's start the video. So the first thing you're going to do is that your paper should be unfold, just like you see me do. And from the unfold side, you start your measurements like so my shoulder divided by 2, I'll mark it and I'll come down by 1.5 for my shoulder slope, and I'll take my neckline 3 by 3 for my neckline, just the way you see me do, and I'll connect the lines together. So after which, the next step is to take our chest line. So your chest line is your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 2.5. So mine is 9. So just I'm marking my chest line like so. And for my chest line, I'll take 1.5 for my bust point line. I'll come down by 1.5 for my bust point line like so. So for my shoulders line, I'll mark my shoulder to waist. So mine is 17. My shoulder to waist is 17 inches, and I will rule like this. So from my waistline, I will mark my waist to hip. So I'm using 9 inches for mine. My waist to hip is 9 inches. I'm using it like this. And from my hip line, I'll come down by 1.5 to get my lower hip line. So this my lower hip line is for me to avoid those excesses at the side of the hip, to curve my hip properly. That's why I'm coming down by 1.5. So after which I will label just the way you see me do, to avoid any mistake or errors. So I'm going to extend this paper so I can have a long length. So I've extended it. As you can see, it's still on fold, guys, don't forget. So on my waist line, I'll mark my waist to nail. So I'm using 23 for my waist to nail. For my own waist to nail is 23 inches, and I will connect like this with a straight ruler. So after that, I will label it, and from my waistline, I will mark my waist to floor length. So my waist to floor length is 52. It's 52, guys. So I will connect with my straight ruler, and for my floor length line, I'll come down by 2 inches for my hemming allowance. And I'll also label the way you're seeing me do. So that is that for it. So we'll start taking our measurements. So from my chest line, I will input my bust circumference divided by 4. The answer I get, I will input it here. My bust circumference divided by 4, I'll put it there. And I'll come to my waistline. My waist circumference divided by 4, I'll put it there on my waistline. On my hip line, my hip circumference divided by 4, I'll mark it there, and I'll put the same measurement on my lower hip line like so. You get? So on my knee line, what I do is that I minus 6 inches from my hip line, and I'll divide it by 4. So let's say for instance my hip is 42. I minus 6 inches from that 42, and whatever I have left, I will divide it by 4 and input it on my knee line. So you can minus 8 if you want it to be that pencil, but for me I want it to be a bit free, so I minus 6. So I'll start connecting my lines together like this. My chest line to my waist to my actual hip line, not the lower hip, like this. Watch how I place my rulers. So for my lower hip line, I'll connect it to my knee line like so, and I'll use my free hand to make a curve from my hip and my lower hip line like so, to avoid any excesses there. So whatever I have on my knee line, I will carry it down to my allowance like so. I'll mark it, and I'll use my straight ruler to connect it like the way you see me do. So guys, so after that, we'll start digging our armhole to get our armhole. So on our chest line, I will input my shoulder divided by 2, like so, and I'll connect it from my shoulder slope to my chest line with a broken line like this. So from my shoulder slope to my chest line, I'll find the midpoint, and from the midpoint I'll go in by 1/2 inches, and I'll connect the lines like the way you see me demonstrate. So guys, I'm trying to make a basic bodice without that. So this dress don't have a dart, as you can see on the video. So I'm done with seats. I have drafted a basic bodice without darts. No dart, nothing. And after that, I'm going to add my allowances on my fabric, on my paper. You guys, I'm going to add 1.5 on my paper before I cut out. So on my chest line, I will mark 1.5, bust line 1.5, waistline 1.5, hip line 1.5, lower hip line 1.5, knee line 1.5, floor length and allowance 1.5, and I'll connect the lines. Knee to floor length straight ruler, knee to lower hip straight ruler, actual hip line to waistline curve ruler, waistline to chest line curve ruler. Guys, watch my ruler placement, watch it. So after that, I'm going to cut out, and I will show you what we have. So I've done cutting. I'm trying to open it up so we can see what we have. So guys, this is our full basic bodies from shoulder to floor length without that. So I'm extending the line to the other side so it will be clear for us to understand what we are doing here. So I'm doing that. So after which, you can as well take your allowances on the other side if you want to, but I choose to ignore mine. So after that, I went ahead to label my left and my right. So this my back shoulder, I just my back neckline I put there, just ignore it. So to get our neckline, from the right hand of your neck, you connect it down to the left side of your chest line like the way you see me do. So in essence, our right hand will have the butterfly, while the left hand will have no sleeve. You get the point. So your own can be different. If you want your own to be vice versa, it's fine. So I'll cut and I'll add my sewing allowance before I cut out, just the way you see me do. So we don't need that part again. So we are done with with drafting. So it's time to place on our fabric. So this is my fabric. I went ahead to place it on the floor for a clearer view, and my fabric is on fold, just the way you see me do. Is on fold. So I'm cutting the back and the front together. So from this my shoulder slope, where my hand is right now, I will start there to take my sleeve length. So my sleeve length is 24, but I'm going to add 2 inches to it. That's 26. So I'll mark that measurement straight down to the floor length, just the way you see me do on the video. So in essence, add 2 inches to your shoulder to sleeve length so that it will pass your wrist area for it to fall down. You get the jack. So I'll connect it like this, like so, straight down like this. From my floor length, I'll connect it down to that 26 inches down like this. I hope you understand, guys. So that's it for the cutting. Nothing much. So I'll start cutting out. I still went ahead to add extra 1 inches to my floor length. I don't like a jump up dress. So I really wanted to cover the floor So I'm cutting out the excesses I had on the other side also, just the way you see me do. So I'm going to leave you to watch the video without saying anything. You get? So on this my shoulder slope, you can see I slanted the line. So it's not straight. So you have to slant your own too, because you know our shoulder is not straight. So I'll add half inches to my shoulder slope, and on my neckline I still added another half inches, making it 1 inches on my neckline. You get? So on this other side, I'm not going to add any allowances there because I already added the allowances on the fabric. So I'm going to cut out like this, and we are done. Very, very simple. Guys, if you have watched to this extent, please guys, subscribe. It's not easy making videos. It's not easy. So subscribe and like my videos. That will boost me to be posting more. Please guys. Please guys, subscribe and like my videos. Share my videos. Comment. Please. Thank you. So I've removed my pepper on my fabric. So I went ahead to add to chalk out my 1.5 sewing allowances on my fabric. And note guys, my fabric is on the wrong side, the wrong side now. So I'm going to sew from my hip area down to the floor length. I'll not sew from my chest line to my hip. I'm not going to sew this area you see me point. So I won't sew there. From my hip line, I will sew it straight down to my floor length, iron it, weave it, and from my hip to my chest line, I will insert my zip and I'll bring it back and show us what we have. You get the jerk? So I've turned it to the right side, as you can see. I have sew it, iron it, put my zipper, as you can see me showing you guys. And I've also went ahead to weave and hem the neckline, as you can see on the video. I've done that, iron it properly, and I've also sew my shoulder area, my sleeve area, and I've iron and weave it. So guys, this is the right side of my fabric. So for us to start out, for us to have that space for our hand, I added 1 inches to my chest line. So my chest line was 9 inches, if you remember. So right now I'm using 10 for my sleeve opening. You get? So you can use your chest line if you don't want it to be bit free. But my client wanted that one to have a little bit of ease on her sleeve area. She want that place to be a little bit free, that opening to be a little bit free. So that's why I added my 1 inch to it. So after that, I'll take my measurements, waist, hip, and nape measurements, just the way you see me do. So I will start inputting my measurements. So my measurement right now, I'm going to divide them by 2, not by 4. You get? So my bust circumference divided by 2. I will mark it on that my chest line, and I will bring the line inward, just the way you're seeing me do. My waist circumference divided by 2. I'll place it on my waistline, just the way you see me do. My waist circumference divided by 2, like so. My hip circumference divided by 2. So my hip circumference divided by 2, I'll mark it on my hip line like so. So on my new line, the same thing we did on the paper, minus 6 inches from your hip and divide it by 2, and mark it on your nail line and carry it down to your floor length. So guys, if you're using a stretchy fabric, I will advise you minus 1 inches out of your measurements. You get? After dividing your, let's say for instance, your bust circumference divided by 2 will give you 19. instead of marking 19, mark 18. You get. So after that, you connect the lines together like so. Using your curve ruler and your straight rulers, connect them like this. You get the jerk. So like I said, minus 1 inches from your allowances if you're using a stretchy fabric and if you want it to be very fitted. You get. So you sew from here down to this area, you end here. You understand? And I'm just trying to show you what I have. So after doing that, I'm going to check my measurements again if they are correct, because I don't want to lose in. You get. So they are correct. I'll go and sew on my sewing machine and end where I say I will end, guys. So after that, I'm going to hem the opening side. That side, I'm going to weave it and sew it, or I fold it twice and I sew. And I'll do the same thing to the floor length also. It's either I weave it and sew it once, or I fold it and sew it. So that's the end of our tutorial. And this is when my client came to fit it. And you can see it on her body. It was giving what it should be giving. Everything was okay. So, thank you guys for watching to this extent. Please like and comment on my videos. Stay blessed. We see you next time. I love you guys. Bye bye.